My name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Oh, I was like, because the cat was came in and started meowing. I was like, "You mother lover Jones, you!" I thought my cat was going to come in here making all this noise. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? My name is Gavin Kerr, and today I am with the most wonderful, delightful Brandon Croucher. How you doing, brother?
It's been a weird morning. Like, I hate to complain, but it seems like everybody had something happen last, 24 hours. I've gotten so many things. Our normal book club, Christina, she will not be able to join us. Her husband has been in a car accident with a drunk driver, and I want to wish her nothing but the best.
Is he all right? Do you know?
She said he's okay, but she does have to. She's not going to be able to be on the show today because of that. And then, as we're getting prepared for our show, we had whatchamacallit. I got a message from one of my favorites, Mr. Brian Tracy, and his truck not only broke down, his truck needs so much in repairs that he's literally stuck out in the middle of nowhere. And he's been trying to just get himself back up and moving and going. And he's just struggling. And I think we all know that feeling. We all know how it goes. But for me, it's like I woke up and every message was negative this morning. And my stomach's been hurting this morning. And I haven't felt myself. So I sat here and I'm like, man, how am I going to go on and put on a smile for everybody? And I realized that, you know what? No matter what, we're going to do this today, and we're going to help change the energy that came and started this day. We're going to start in a new way. So, Gavin, get everybody up, get everybody ready, get them smiling. Go.
I woke up with somebody else's dog in my yard today.
Did you know the dog?
Yeah, it's the neighbor's dog. I don't know how he got there, but Dakota didn't kill him, so I guess that's good.
Dang. Were they hanging out?
Yeah. So I heard what I thought was Dakota barking, but then I was like, no, because he doesn't bark that much, and his voice is not that high. And I went up, and sure enough, the neighbor's Doberman was in my yard. And I'm like, all right, well, what the F? I don't want to deal with this right now. And so I just opened the door, let Coda inside. The Doberman didn't follow. I don't even know its name. Didn't follow in. So Coda came inside, and I just shut the door. I was like, I'll text the neighbor, and I'll deal with it after the show if it's still there.
Wow. Because you have a big dog, and they have a big dog. So, wow.
Yes. Well, there isn't. I don't believe it's full bred Doberman because it has some it has some different colors to it, and then it's a lot smaller. So even if it is, it's not an adult yet. But they weren't fighting when I went out there, so I'm not worried about it. There was no blood or tears or anything.
That's awesome. Hey, guess what? We have somebody new this morning.
Who do we have? Hi, Kelly.
She is excited to hear Phil speak. We are as well. He has had a lot of. No. Our guest name is Phil. Hey, Phil Barth, buddy. That was the bio I was talking about. We were opening the website, talking about this morning when you came in.
I didn't hear his name.
Got it. Now that makes sense. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm like reading it, and you're like, who? And she says, hi, Phil. And then you're like, Big D. I could see why you'd think that. No, this is a different Phil, not Philip Dugas from the Breakthrough Show. We do love both Phils, though. She says, hi, Gavin. She said hello to you. I bet she did a wave, too, like this. This is how I would have done it to you. Hi, Gavin.
What are you grabbing for?
Nothing. I'm like giving you the princess wave.
Is that how they wave? I thought they did like the back and yeah.
You cup your hand. You do like this, and it's perfect L, and you go. You want to know how I know that?
Well, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I will. We're gonna love him, Kelly says. I agree. And Ryan with Beyond Moving Picture Studios. Good morning, my friend. He says oatmeal. So let's get some more hellos in here, and then you and I will dive into our day because it's already been a fun one this morning. So we have, ready? I'm going to let you go first. First name, and I'll go second, okay?
Okay. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Brett.
Oh, I thought that was it for a second. Hi, Bob.
I was moving up, and then I was like, did we say hi to Bob? Hi, Bob. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Breakthrough Show. Just to do this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is so glad to have you all here today. Today is Thursday, June 18th, 17th. Yeah, get your calendar.
17th.
Because June. All right, so June 19th or Juneteenth is.
Yo, what is
Saturday.
Juneteenth?
Really? You don't know?
No, I have a bunch of stuff planned for it, but I have no idea what it is.
All right, so what do you have planned? Let me ask you this. I'm going to start with that so you know what you're getting into. I want to help you.
Yeah. So in the morning, I'm doing rehearsal with my sister, Kaylin, and then I'm going to go do the nightmare combat.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
And you have a date already for that, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Layla's coming with me to do some nightmare combat. We're going to drive down to Columbus together, listen to some awesome tunes, get some snacks. We're going to mess up. We're just going to shoot all these nightmares, and then we're going to drive back. And then after that, I have karaoke at Teams. Yes, at Teams.
So
I got a full day. And then I got to pack.
You know what? You do have to pack because we leave Sunday. Leave Sunday. It's
going to be great. We're going to have a fun time.
So here's the fun thing about that, Gavin, is Juneteenth is when the slaves were freed. It's the day that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and released everybody and freed them. It is a day in history that is Sunday fun day. Sunday. Sorry, everybody's making great comments in there today. But like it's the day the Emancipation Proclamation was written and they legalized it and freed the slaves. And it's the day the slaves are freed. So for us, it's not anything. It's not a holiday that's been celebrated in the U.S. and it is growing in popularity. And the thing is, I think people do need to know about it more. It should, 100%. Yeah. And I think people need to know about it more because it's a part of culture. If we say 4th of July, we all celebrate with fireworks, but Juneteenth, we leave to just one thing. No, like we all celebrate.
No, it's a day of independence. You know, it should be celebrated as such.
Correct. And with this one, it's respecting everybody on that. It's understanding the different things and just everybody's different in their own ways, and it's being able to understand this is a holiday that we might not understand the difference of, but it's still going to be a good one. Have you ever been to a Juneteenth party?
No.
I'm going to say, oh my, you're already
Brennan,
gone.
I didn't even know what the holiday was about. How would I go to a party for it?
You could have gone and not known. Like, they're that big. It looks like festivals. They have parades. They have all this stuff, and
maybe I have gone then. I don't know.
For real. Congress just approved I did not know this. Thank you, Brett, from Businesses Are People Too. Congress just approved a bill that makes it a federal holiday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is
nice.
Awesome. I honestly am happy for that. Gavin, I've done this for years. I go to these things, and I'm usually the only white guy there. So I've known about Juneteenth for a while. And it's funny, but like they all know, everybody there knows me, and they're glad that I'm willing to do that. And I think more people need to come to this because it is such an interesting thing of culture and family and just people being themselves. And it's just so awesome. So for me, this Saturday, do yourself a favor, break out of your mold, find somebody that's doing something Juneteenth. I promise you, your city is doing something. Look around and go jump in and have fun. Go have fun and learn more about Juneteenth. And then on Monday, I want everybody to tell me something new. Okay. Oatmeal is gone, and we're down to just the water. Brett
like the water in the bowl, like that gross slime shit that you get at the end of it. Is that what you're talking about? Or like a cup of water?
I can't think of that this morning. My fish tank that my sister doesn't take care of was like pushing out gunk. And my mom and I were cleaning it. And my mom goes, you look like you're not going to like this. I'm like, I feel like I'm about to just give the fish my breakfast.
I cleaned out the turtle tank the other day, and it was, there were a couple spots that were pretty bad. It's difficult because it's a big ass, it's a 75-gallon tank. So I have a siphon, and I had to like attach it to my garden hose and then stretch the garden hose out along the entire yard. So that way it would siphon properly. Really? And I just got the water out. Yeah, I can get a lot of the gunk that's on the bottom. Because it's either that or it's take buckets, and that's a hell of a process.
And that's where my mom looked at me. She goes, are we going to have to use the buckets? I'm like, not now. Right? I have a show in 20 minutes. I can't do that. Like, I'll put a new filter in and stuff. Excuse me.
I should get more snails. My turtle ate all the snails I got last time. I was pretty pissed about it because I got big snails specifically so she would not do that. Maybe I need to get small ones so they hide.
So, Gavin, you have a new fish that you told us about, but you put him in there yesterday.
Bruce.
I know. Yes, Bruce. Bruce is a
red-bellied piranha approximately the size of my hand that I got for free at the pet store. I named him Bruce because fish are friends, not food, but I'm going to feed him a lot of fish.
Brett has a koi pond.
Holy shit. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Do you have koi fish, Mr. Gordon? You know what the funny thing is? We know it whether he's listening or not because of the fact his screen keeps going in and out.
I know. I see that.
I'm laughing my butt off because we ask him a question and he disappears. So, Gavin,
I would love a koi pond, but I would not have. I would have koi in it until the pet store down the street from me every couple months they get in a very special animal for approximately $500. That I always have to fight so hard not to get. And the only reason why I do not get it is because I do not have a proper enclosure for it yet. They have dwarf caiman.
Dwarf caiman? I don't even know what that is.
So a caiman is like a little crocodile. And a dwarf caiman are the smallest versions of that. They grow to be approximately like 4 feet in length. And yeah, they're pretty badass. But they also require a hell of an environment.
So what you're saying is Brett Gordon is going to get a pet alligator when we surprise him with that when we get out there to Vegas next week.
I mean, he could definitely do a caiman in that, with that size of a pond. If he just closed off the back. Like if you put like a wooden fence around it or something like that, he could definitely, not around the whole thing. He'd obviously need some land for it, but if he closed it off, he could definitely have a caiman back there. Plus, he's in Vegas, so he doesn't have to worry about having a water heater or anything like that, which is really nice.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Brett Gordon, would you want an alligator that's a mini, what is it called?
It's a dwarf caiman. I can pull a picture up. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, bring me up a picture. I want to see a picture of this thing. Like, ladies and gentlemen, if you had a pet that you could have, what is a pet you'd want? Like, I would legally want everybody knows I want a penguin, but you can't legally own a penguin. I would want just a flying squirrel, something simple that I can carry around in my pocket with me everywhere and just have fun with it.
Get a sugar glider.
Yeah, same thing. Sugar glider, flying squirrel.
Sugar gliders imprint on you. You get them as babies and they imprint on you, so you don't have to have a leash or anything on them, and they'll just stay with you the entire time. You're like their mother. But their diet is a pain in the ass. Like, they have a very specific, very diverse diet you need to feed them.
I want a finger monkey.
Those are cool too.
Those are wow, that's big, buddy. That's big.
I mean,
what do you even feed that?
Mice, rats, eventually. I mean, they're not huge. Like, compared to some of the other animals that I have, these aren't enormous.
Brett Gordon, would you have one of these in your koi pond? Brett Gordon, would you have one of these in your koi pond?
No. No, I just sent it would eat my brother's Chihuahua and his girlfriend's Maltese.
Actually, they'd be fine. Well, maybe the Chihuahua once it gets bigger. I don't know how the Chihuahua
it's set up. It's got 3 waterfalls and it's concrete, so it's not really one it's not a pond kind of thing. It's like a river that flows through the yard.
Nice.
So tonight we have a special showing tonight, Mr. Brett Gordon, don't we? You're going to be going live. You're talking about what movie today and who is your superhero that you're teaching us about to give us a tool.
We're going to be talking about Hermione from Harry Potter and girl power, or more specifically, the power of feminine energy. And we did a great recording, which is out there for everybody to watch. And looking forward to being able to interact with everybody regarding, what they either, got from the movies, from the One Square at a Time recording that Brandon and I did actually back in December, and we just posted it. And just anything that really kind of relates to it, we'll be glad to, take your comments, questions, and invite you onto the screen if you want. So that we can talk about it. So we're really looking forward to that this afternoon.
I 100% agree. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, EDT, not EST. I'm working on that, but I'm still going to call it EST. Brett, we need a view of that. We do. Brett, do you have a picture of your shit? Your koi pond?
I am going to see if I've got it on my computer here.
Awesome. And then Jessica Dugas says she's so excited for tonight's show. Hermione is my bestie. Yeah, right. Oh my God, it's the end of days. Get your bread and milk. Why is it the end of days? Why is it? Now I'm confused. What
is that? Just a Chicken Little statement,
or is that just a Hermione statement? Hermione.
I don't remember her saying that, but now I kind of want some bread and milk.
Oh my God! So Brett, with this tonight, I have only watched one Harry Potter movie.
Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, Harry Potter. It was like my grandma's back in the 70s. She had like one of those fur things on it. Never mind. So Harry Potter movie, I have only watched one, and because of that, I'm not a huge, what is it called? A Potter freak or a pothead?
Pothead.
Yes, I am a pothead, but in a way different way. So with that, how do you entice people to want to watch tonight? Why should I tune in? I know I'm a part of it, but I know this much about Hermione. I still say her name wrong, I think. And Brandon, get behind your Brandon. Get your behind down here, and we'll have an HP marathon.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Like all 8 movies right in a row. It's 24 hours Harry Potter.
Well, 9 because the last one was split up into 2, right? Or is it 8?
Well, there was 7, but the 7 got split to 2.
Right.
There's 7 of them. You expect me to watch 7 movies with
8
you?
movies.
There's 8 movies. There's 7 books.
I
8
barely
movies.
sit still for this 2 hours. You want me to do 8 movies? That's a 16-hour day. That's a weekend for me of movies.
Yeah, but if you go down there with Jess and her 872 kids, they're not going to let you go until you're done watching it.
I do not have, like, if there's that many kids around, I'm going to be a big kid. Like, especially when they have, like, all of that. Like, it looks like you guys are flying planes tonight. What? I don't understand. Somebody sent me a text saying it looks like I'm flying planes tonight. I guess I'm flying a plane, guys. You guys want to come fly a plane with me?
I think it's because of your headset.
The person that said it now, it makes perfect sense. Okay, I'm sorry, ADHD. But, like, I have not watched much of these, and I don't know anything about Harry Potter. I know he's a wizard. I know I'm a Hufflepuffle. Or Hufflepuff. So, like, if I go down and try to watch these movies with Jessica Dugas and all 777 kids of hers, I am not going to be able to focus. I'm going to be literally running around with the kids. I am a big kid, and when you get me around kids, I'm like, yeah! Like,
I think that you would enjoy it even more, though, just because you are watching it with kids and you would be able to enjoy it with them and see their excitement. Like, it really is. It's not even that it's about fantasy and stuff like that and the magic and everything. It's the attention to detail and how much thought has gone into this universe. And then the story itself. It is a really awesome story that while it does have little side stories here and there, it stays focused throughout the whole thing. Which is like,
I don't stay focused.
Yeah, that's why you would like it. Because it has little side stories.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things
for your
going
ADHD,
on.
but it all funnels in. It's all relevant to the story for the most part. So there will be little things that'll keep you entertained, but then you'll still be able to like follow what's going on.
Well, and you know what's really cool about what I love about Hermione is that she's this really precocious young child in the beginning, and then even Harry and Ron didn't like her to begin with because she was like the know-it-all, which actually kind of reminds me of when I was growing up in grade school too, probably. Probably very much so. And then as she continues to grow, she's always in the book. She knows all the spells and everything. And if it wasn't for Hermione, there would have been, I say that there's no way Harry would have ever found and defeated Voldemort. And that's where I think that, J.K. Rowling, again, just really does a phenomenal job of developing the strength of the female characters and the feminine energy within the movies, really putting them on par with the male characters, which is awesome. It's something that was not common practice in the past. And in fact, Disney, even today, Disney has algorithms that they actually play against their movies, their animated flicks, all that stuff, to see what the balance is of male to female characters, the lines within the movie that they have, and also ethnicities and so forth now, in order to be able to try to give a much more inclusive, representative perspective on life so that more people can connect with the movies in a much stronger way than they may have in the past.
Now, when we go through this evening, are you doing just Harry Potter 1, or is this like Harry Potter 1?
No. When we talk about Hermione, I mean, we can talk about Harry Potter, the movies, we can talk about, all kinds of things. But when we're talking about Hermione, we're really talking about from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to the last episode, so that we're encompassing the whole spectrum. I don't think that there's a way to really carve out a part of that without missing something. So you want to talk about all of it. And then hopefully in the future, we'll do another one on like just Harry. We'll do one on, we'll do one on Brandon. Brandon.
No, he's Harry.
The first version.
Thank you. Gavin caught it. I was calling myself Harry. Like I'm Harry-ish. Like Harry.
Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Yeah, that's true. You're more like Hagrid, in my opinion.
Yep.
With
I'm a
big
Hagrid.
Beard and yeah.
By the way, I have a question, and I'm asking this to the audience. When did I lose my handsomeness? Every show I've been on, the guest compliments the co-host, and like, oh, Gavin, you are adorable. I think you're so handsome. Yesterday we're on air, and the guy that I have with Joe and I is literally hitting on Joe while we're on air. And Fernando starts jumping on, and Fernando's like, yeah, Joe, take your shirt off. I'm sitting here going, I'm in the middle of like a throuple right now, and it is 100% me just sitting here going, when did I become the ugly kid? When did I become the...
Maybe you need to pull out a 40-year-old virgin. Go get a body wax.
Dude, don't even joke. Cause you want to go with me?
Yeah, I would love to go watch you get your body wax. That sounds phenomenal.
Would you really? I do it once a year.
Yeah, that sounds like a blast, actually.
Honestly, 100%. I will go do this. She is a very good. Actually, buddy, she might come out to our house. She's done it before for me. She's waxed my chest, my back, my booty. Like, guys, I am not afraid to get a wax. I do not do my legs. Yeah. I've done my crotch. It hurts as hell. I don't know how women do that.
Why do you do your crotch and your booty, but not your legs?
I hate my hair there. I do not want to. Like my legs, I can handle the hair on. My crotch and my booty get swampy, and I don't want to feel all like sweaty and like, bleh, especially when we're driving.
How do we go from Hermione to this kind of conversation?
Harry,
because we were talking about how Harry. That led to him not being the pretty one anymore, and that led to all right. Let's wax you.
It went from.
I want to see Brandon get waxed. I think that'd be funny.
Not waxed.
Waxed. Yeah. Do you yell things like in the movie? Like that scene was real when he got waxed in 40-year-old version. That was a real scene. There was no CGI, so he was just screaming because he was in pain.
So he did that for real. My first time I did it, I almost killed her. I was like, and she's a very good friend. I've known her for years. That's the only reason she was getting her license in this and all this other stuff. I've seen him get whacked. Yep. All right, Gavin, here's the deal. I'm going to text her right now. And this week, it would have to be tomorrow or Sunday, buddy, because Saturday's packed and we leave Sunday, and you're not going to want to drive east. I will get waxed.
We can do it after Vegas.
We could, or we go in Vegas, and we get other people to go and get it done, too, and we have a lot of fun videoing.
I like that.
I used to have it done regularly.
You were waxed regularly?
Yeah.
Were you a swimmer? You look like a swimmer. I could see you.
My girlfriend said, okay, this one will be interesting. My girlfriend and I talked about it, and it was like, do you floss with your meal or after your meal?
Oh, my God. That's true. Oh, she said that to you. Very true. Wow. Do you get it, Gavin? Nope.
No. I'm just thinking about flossing and eating a steak.
So
floss after I eat a steak.
If a tree is planted,
but you don't want the floss on your steak. Now you get it?
The hell is this analogy?
So hold on, let me try it a different way. All right. So if you have a tree and a bunch of bushes around it, and you remove the bushes, the tree looks a lot bigger, right?
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And the other watching Brett. So, same thing with the floss. If I'm going to have to floss, do you want to do it before or after? Because that's the stake. And that, yeah, we're going to change the subject now. Last night was a riot. We had so much fun. Archie, we've already been friends on Facebook. We became friends on so many different things. And guys, honestly, one of my favorite interviews, hands down. He wins interview of the year right now, and that's not insulting who we're having on today or anything. I've done a ton of interviews this last year with you, Gavin, and Joe, and Brett, and this guy comes on, and the first couple things out of his mouth, like I think it wasn't even 3 minutes in, and he was talking about how he's from Kentucky, and he was like, apparently they don't like butt sex down there, and my face went, like right off the bat, and that was one of his first 3 sentences. Right. Both of you had the same reaction I did.
No, I just love how you're like, all right, we're gonna change the subject. So in Kentucky,
yeah, well, he is gay, and he's very open about it, and his struggles he's had. He talked about his addictions, his alcoholism, his drug addiction, and how come it pushed him there. And that was his joke to get people to open up. And he really nailed it, guys. Like, if you didn't check out last night's episode, I highly, highly, highly recommend. Please go check out last night's episode of The H. It was a great show. Today, we have a guest coming on. People are already here. We have, what's her name? Kelly? Is that who it was that said she can't wait for him to be here?
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly. Kelly said she can't wait to hear Phil speak. Well, Phil is going to be on here in about a half hour, 29 minutes. And just in case nobody knows anything about Phil, on August 5th, 2015, Phil took a surprise visit to the cardiac wing of the North Hospital in Cincinnati. He suffered what was labeled a small heart attack, and he remembered thinking to himself, God, I would hate to see a medium-sized one. Per the advice of the doctor, he changed his diet, started exercising more, and decided to work on controlling stress. For the past 5 years, he has published a daily list, great things that happened today. Each day, he celebrates the great things that happened since he started this journey, and he meets some fascinating people, discovered new recipes, and celebrated life, and laughs a lot. He even wrote a book on the subject. It's an international best sort of seller. So I feel like I need to put a question mark there. Like, I'm Ron Burgundy. Along the way, he has discovered 7 tricks to managing stress. He calls them the 7 S's of successful stress management. They have changed his life and will change the lives of your podcast listeners as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great one. We're going to get the S's. We're going to get the ways to build ourselves up. Butt sex is rarer than one thinks. I agree. Did I hear that wrong? The comments. I sabotaged Jessica Dugas in his love affair. Apparently yesterday, just so everyone knows. I'm stealing him from her. So. It's been a fun one. But, yeah, we have a great guy today coming on. We have Phil coming on. Brett's doing the One Square at a Time this evening with Hermione. Brett, I have a deal for you. Since Jessica Dugas seems to have a thing about Harry Potter, and I'm a big fan of it, there goes Brett. He's already annoyed with us. And gone. So, Jessica Dugas, would you like to have some fun with me on this one? Just write yes in the comments. You said that you guys did a week, 2 years ago, you did a homeschool thing that was completely Harry Potter themed, floating candles and all. So
that's pretty awesome.
I agree. That's pretty stinking cool. Did you? Woohoo! Did you? I just have the AED is there today. Would you be able to join Brett Gordon tonight and bring all your kids on to talk about Harry Potter? Because I think that would be a phenomenal conversation, having kids from the ages of 3 all the way through, I think your oldest is 20 now.
You're going to need a speaking stick for that.
That's okay. That's what I'm planning on.
Yeah.
I want to see a speaking stick. I want to see a Von Trapp family song. I want to see all the kids lined up. I think it would be a fun one to get a children's perspective of what, like, there's a lot of life lessons in Harry Potter, as Jessica Dugas from the Breakthrough Show said. So if we have these life lessons, my question to you would be, how do we get the kids to get involved, to have them want to teach us?
Yeah.
I don't think they will be able to come on, but I will be willing to poop in there and bring photos. I love it. She's going to poop in there.
That would be cool.
I will ask them who would want to. Tell them all Uncle Brett's going to be there. And I who knows what's going to happen with that. And then the handsome Gavin will be there. I bet somebody shows up for that of the kids.
Oh, I'm going to be there?
I don't think so. I just was using you to get the kids there. Like,
that's today, right? I got stuff to do.
Nope.
I got work. I got work. I got bills to pay.
I hope you remembered you have meetings today with us at 2.
I do. It's already in my calendar. I am an expert at time management.
You never accepted it. I just
it's on my calendar.
It's there, but you didn't hit yes.
I know I had to hit yes. I just assumed, it's in there. So I'll be there.
I'm going to start adding to Brett Gordon's calendar just random things. Like, I have control over all calendars.
I get random things
somebody is
Brandon throughout the day. He tells me he's going to do this, and then he doesn't show up.
Bite my ass!
I don't know who, but somebody has been adding things to my calendar. They can't take anything out of my calendar, so I'm not like too worried about it. But now and again, I'll see things like family reunion, or like a doctor appointment that I didn't set up because I don't go to the gynecologist. Like, I'm very confused on who has been adding things to my calendar.
So I think that's really funny because I have an appointment today at 4:00 that it literally has 5 spots on my calendar. Okay. Yeah. Brandon Croucher. I did not set this meeting up. It has a Zoom link in there. It has no other emails on there. And according to it, I set this up and I have no idea what it is. And it's at 4 p.m. today. I'm sitting here I'm looking at it going,
does it say who it's with?
No. It says it's with me. It's Brandon Croucher with Brandon Croucher. Apparently, I'm just going to talk to myself. I do that enough as is.
Okay.
Well,
good luck with that. I'll be with Joe doing Vegas stuff at that time.
Doing Vegas stuff.
Oh yeah. I have to leave right after this to head to you guys.
I know.
But
then you're going to miss your meeting with yourself.
No, I can just sit there and talk to myself. I'm good at that. I'll be like, hey, Brandon, how you doing? I'm doing well today. What's up with you? I don't know. Just doing my thing, working, trying to get in touch with Brett. Brett always is around. He likes to hang out with you. Yeah, he does. He's a pretty cool guy. What about Gavin? Gavin's pretty cool, too. See, it's easy.
That's how you talk to yourself?
No, it's usually meaner.
Okay, there we go. It's like, let's be honest. It's a lot of self-loathing and planning.
What is wrong with you? You need to get things done. I'm doing the best I can. It's not good enough. Brett is waiting for you on the phone. He's waited for you to show up.
So if everybody really wants to see this live, they need to come out to Vegas next week and they get a chance to interact with all of us live at the show.
That's true. Brett Gordon, we're going to be all moving into Brett's house. He just doesn't know we're staying. Joe and Brett are going to be best friends. They're going to sleep in the same bed and not even know it.
I don't think I can because Joe's already got that friend from yesterday.
Archie's husband will not put up with that. Jessica has texted me 592 times. Jessica, you're not even the biggest texter in our group. Like, I love you. You are right there in the middle. I would put you in the middle of all my texting people. I've been limiting my texting. Do you guys ever do that? You put your phone down to just get things done, and you realize you get a hell of a lot more done.
Oh yeah. And then as soon as I pick it back up, though, I end up in like a 30-minute thing down. I'll do this thing where I'll fall down the rabbit hole, and then all of a sudden I'll just like throw my phone across the room. Well, like, no, be gone, Satan! Procrastination no more. Like, that's what I do. I'll catch myself halfway through a video that I'm really interested in. And I'm like, shit, what am I doing? I was supposed to do the dishes 3 days ago.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I get it. Dude,
And
the
then
dishes
instead of
3.
doing the dishes, I go and I mow the lawn because F dishes.
I hate. All right, what is the chore you hate the most? Is it dishes?
Laundry, specifically socks. I've
okay.
thrown out all of my socks and bought brand new ones that are all the exact same brand, so I never have to match socks. Never get me socks as a gift. It'll be sweet until I wear them once, and then it'll be irritating because then I have to match them.
That is true.
He is really upset about that. I have no matching
I hate
socks.
matching socks. I hate it.
None of my socks match. Well, that's not true. I don't care. Why? Because if you're looking at my socks and judging me by my socks, you have a lot more problems in your life than
I don't give a shit about other people looking at my socks and judging me. I like my socks to be uniform.
Yeah, I don't.
The same. I have other things that are like wacky and whatnot, but my socks have to be grounded.
I take my shoes off and people are like, "Is that Batman and Deadpool?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "That's awesome." I like my socks to be thin. I like my socks. My socks are. I have nice
agree
socks.
with that. I like thin socks. Somebody gave me a pair of fuzzy socks one time, and they were awesome for like 2 days because I wore them like regular socks. I know you weren't supposed to do that. Apparently, you're supposed to wear them like at home, lounging around, doing nothing socks. Yeah, I wore them like regular socks, and they just became disgusting. Like they were like an old bath rug after like a couple of times of using it.
Cleaned up your floor.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh, these are horrible for me sweating in them and then washing them and it just not. So they were great for the first time I wore them.
Sherry McQueen says bathrooms is the chore she hates the worst. And I have to be honest, Gavin, I get the laundry thing, but for me, I hate dishes. Dishes and laundry are my two worst things. I can wash the laundry. I can load the dishwasher, but I don't like to unload the dishwasher, and I don't like to fold my laundry. I just don't. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just those are my two things I don't really like. Bathrooms don't faze me at all. Dusting, easy. I sweep all the time. I mop. Yeah. I don't know. Like I have no problem with a lot of things, but there's certain chores I'm just like, I can't. My mom and I have talked about it. I'm like, I'll load the dishwasher. I'll wash the dishes. I just need you to put the dishes away. And she's like, really? And I'm like, that's it. I will clean the entire house. Just put the dishes away. And when I need to wash my clothes, understand I'm probably going to put it in the dryer, take it upstairs, and you just don't want to come in my room. I'll throw it off.
Do you load after you're done eating, or do you just put them in the sink?
Oh, I load right. I rinse it and load it right away. And it's because I cook. I was a chef. You know what it's like as a chef, Gavin. You clean as you go.
Yes,
and I became obsessed with cleaning it. Like I wanted my kitchen clean, and I wanted my house clean because if your kitchen's a mess and you look in your kitchen and all the dinks, all the sink is full of everything, you're literally like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to do the dishes. It adds up quickly. But if the dishes are done and your pots and pans are clean, you're more inclined to be like, all right, I'll make myself something. You know, you'll be willing to cook a little more. And for me, that was why I was doing it at home, is I wanted to stop buying out food. It's so easy to just pick up a phone and be like, oh, I think I'm going to order Mexican tonight and get myself some tacos instead of actually cooking something.
Ordering out isn't even worth it anymore just because now with Uber Eats, it's so expensive. Oh my God. And everything is Uber Eats now. You can't there are very few, like I know some Chinese restaurants and I know some pizza places that still do like actual from the store delivery. It's not, there's no middleman, but that middleman adds on like an extra $10 to your meal.
That's why I go and pick it up. It's like, I don't get it delivered. I go out that way. I also know that it hasn't been driven around to 3 other stops before it got to my house and it's not hot anymore. I go there and pick it up. It's like,
when when Chris and I were together, she would order a lot of food with Uber Eats, and I remember one time I looked at the bill. I'm like, why did these two Chipotle bowls cost $50? She was like, oh, I got guacamole. I'm like, guacamole isn't $30, honey.
But they have raised prices on so many things.
Inflation has really gone up dramatically, and the government doesn't want to report it that way, but everybody is experiencing it. You go to the grocery store and everything has gone up significantly. You go to eat out, everything has gone up significantly. It's
we're not even inevitable though. Like inflation is something.
All that stuff.
Inflation is something that's always happened though, and it's gonna continue to happen. It cycles.
Well, it's that, and they printed $6 trillion,
which takes our inflation rate through the roof. Like over the next 6 months, you're going to see things go up. There was an article yesterday in the New York Times that is all about this and how over the next few months when these start kicking in, like student loans. Did you know that the regulations on student loans have been changed again? We all have to start paying. Oh yeah, if you have student loans. In October, they're going to make it where all of COVID, everybody got like a extension on not needing to make payments and da-da-da-da-da. In October, no more excuses, and all that interest gets added on, even though it should have been wiped off. Yeah.
That's screwed up. That sucks.
But here's the thing. Because it was on hold, and we've been doing all these things. Look, the money that needed to go out because of the pandemic is one thing. But now we're looking at everything else that's coming along with this, and all the money that's going to be there. Gavin, in the next 5 years, we've printed so much money. We've bailed out so many businesses. Like we've bailed out the car industry and the air industry in the United States in the last decade. And you take that money and see all of how this is being spent and how there's such a huge difference in the wealth gap. And it's making it even more spread. It's gotten bigger. The last time the economy fell out, 2008, okay? I literally graduated my master's in the middle of that. I had an interview with a job. I was interviewing for $85,000 a year, okay? I got done with that interview. They literally said, hey, a week later, they're like, hey, we're not actually hiring right now because of the economy going the way it is. We're going to have to hold off. A year later, that same job went up for $33,000 and not as many benefits. They called and offered me the job right away, and I had to say no. I can't do a job that I'm going to make less than half of what you were going to do. And they blame it on inflation, to the economy, to all these things. And then you add in, you ready for the other fun thing? What's going on with the shipping industry? The shipping industry, you remember that boat that got stuck that they had to free?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear anything that's happened after that?
No.
So because of that lockup, Brett's smiling. He's got something for me. But they cannot help the people that have those. They cannot help the people that have those loans and wipe them away. That's bullshit. And while as much as I agree with you, I don't think the loans should be just wiped away. I don't. I in my opinion, it teaches no values. It teaches no growth and no human. Like it's just giving you something.
Those people are forced to go to college. Like there's plenty of people who do not go to college who are very, very successful. So I agree that they should not just be wiped away. You know, they made the choice to go to college. They knew what they were signing up for. That is on them at that point.
And the government has to stop giving away the loans as much as they do, because what's happened is universities have jacked up their prices dramatically. I went back to my school, which is a private school in the middle of Illinois, small school. And when I went back there this time, I saw all of these things that they had built that have really nothing to do with education, but it's all about, making the life at the university better and nicer. And I'm like, and they're calling me for money. And I told them, I said, no, I see how you're spending the money. I'm not donating crap, because you're building out things that are not academic. So why am I going to pay for that? And that's what's been happening. That's why universities have gone up. It's the same thing as like the medical costs. If the government gets in and starts to guarantee or give out loans and that kind of stuff, all the businesses, all the universities, all the medical industry that's behind it just jack up prices because they know they're going to get paid.
Yep. 100%. And when you add into that the fact that in Ohio, at least, I don't know the entire United States, if you're a nonprofit, you get to write all that land off as taxes. Like it's all wiped off and you have no fees on it, and because they're making money when you put a business on there. That's why hospitals, Major League Baseball, professional football, professional basketball, they build new stadiums. Why do you think they petition for it? Because the taxpayers pay for it and they get to write off the land. So they're paying nothing for the land, and then they're getting all this money back by tax breaks. And Go ahead.
And then you get to see how the rich people, it's really starting to come out. I've known this for a long time. You know, the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, they paid zero taxes basically for years and years on billions and billions of dollars of income.
For the pandemic, Brett, I'm jumping on with you. I'm agreeing with you because this is government. This is literal out there. I could go find it if I want right now. It just might take me a minute. But in 2020, the Amazon made how many hundreds of billions of dollars in profits, and then Jeff Bezos didn't have to pay. The Amazon didn't pay $1 in federal taxes.
Right. Yeah. This is the way that we've allowed things to get structured. That's why, since I was in college, when I was an econ major, I said we should just go to a low, simple, flat tax across the board, like 10%, maybe 15% for everybody. No excuses, none of this other stuff. Then everybody's going to pay. And, you know, you get a difference of opinion of how that plays out, but it would also eliminate the billions of dollars that are spent on trying to administer the IRS and that whole industry that's built around trying to get around the loopholes that are built into the IRS. So it's an amazing mess that we've created.
It really is. And I look at the future and see how much we're printing right now. And we need to be printing to a point, but there's a point where it's like
and it's not just us.
No,
the thing about this is, you know, China's done it. The European Union's done it. All these countries, big countries, have been printing. India's doing it. So there's just a tremendous dilution of the value of the currency. That's why you're seeing things like Bitcoin and stuff going up like crazy, because there's this belief that those are going to hold their value beyond the currencies of the majors. And at this point in time, you know, you're seeing tremendous fluctuations. But I think that, you know, these big countries are going to get into the whole crypto arena and start to make it less of a store of value than it currently is kind of looked at. So there's just a lot of that kind of stuff going on. And I think that, you know, what we have to do is continue to try and, work toward what we can do with ourselves today to make sure that we can pay our bills, but not continue to pay people for doing nothing, not continue to, you know, this thing about increasing the minimum wage to something also means you're going to increase. I mean, that's a big reason why McDonald's prices and stuff go up, because they're still going to try to feed Wall Street what Wall Street's asking for, which is, you know, the profitability, the margins. And that's where they're going to take it out in one way, shape, or form so that they can continue to meet their quarterly expectations on Wall Street. Wall Street's a mess, and that's Wall Street's, you know, come into Main Street now by the way they're manipulating the housing market.
I agree. So Sherry McQueen made a good comment here that she wants to see free college and free healthcare for everyone. And now I will say I agree with you, but I think there needs to be standards. If you're going to go to college, I think that there needs to be a GPA standard, because D's get degrees, and that's not fair, because that means somebody who worked their ass off to go get to college and somebody who doesn't give a shit are able to get the same degree, and then they're competing for the same job. And the person that worked their ass off might not know the person that's getting hired for the job because they don't know somebody, and it doesn't balance it out. I think there needs to be a balance there where if you're going to get to go to college, you have to have at least a certain GPA. That's just my opinion. Now, as for the healthcare, I literally think the healthcare is a totally different thing because of the fact It could be that. But it's a business right now. The fact that insulin costs are 7 times higher in the United States than they are in Canada alone, where literally I could drive an hour and go get insulin shots for my mom for a fraction of the price in Canada. And the United States keeps jacking it up. How about medicines for just people that have diabetes, people that have other problems? They put me taking Zoloft because of anxiety. Like, I literally deal with these things, and my price is different than others because of who I am and my insurance, but it's so different in so many ways. And if we balanced those out, that meant that we'd have to balance the books on all of it and make it where you can't charge astronomical prices for one and then another at a lower price. Like,
again, that's where you got to get the government out of it, because when the government came in, when HMOs came in, those types of managed care programs just added a lot of middlemen to the whole thing. It actually took away from the direct patient-doctor relationships, and it added significant money into paying for pharmaceuticals that then the pharmaceutical companies, I can go into a whole big thing about it, but anyhow, the pharmaceuticals are about the biggest manipulators of the Congress that there are in terms of money and in terms of lobbyists. And they just changed the laws so that it's going to be advantageous to the pharmaceutical industry. They pay universities to teach people to give drugs. And all of these things end up just creating this massive medical infrastructure that doesn't need to be there, when all we really need to focus primarily on is individuals' immune system, individuals' health and wellness, teaching people how to live a healthier life, how to eat healthier, how to create a better immune system. And all of this stuff can be just shrunk dramatically. But the pharmaceuticals, big pharma is out there blocking a lot of this stuff so that, I mean, have you heard throughout this whole thing with COVID, have you ever really seen anything that's gone national that said, work on making sure that your immune system is good?
No, because they don't want you to do that, even though, and they say that your gut
is drugs, the vaccine has been Pfizer's biggest moneymaker in Q1 of any of their drugs. It amounted to 1/4 of their profit in Q1 alone. Crazy.
It is crazy. It is. Honestly, Brett, we agree. You and I already talked about this. Look, we're not going to go politics anymore on this one, because we didn't choose a side or anything, but we did talk about how colleges, nonprofits, how all these different things, how they're able to manipulate systems to get people what they want, not what the people need. And I think that there's a lot of things out there that, if you want to build your best you have to know what you want. And that's the thing that a lot of people it's very difficult, because no matter who you are, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody that has a different opinion. There's always going to be someone that has something that's going to tell you you're wrong. And you need to know who you are and what you believe in best. Gut health is essential. What you eat, how you take care of your mental, how you take care of your physical, how you take care of your emotional and keeping it in check, all helps you build your best you. And sorry, my phone's blowing up. It's for that, all of a sudden it was bing, 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 and it was vibrating like crazy. I'm sorry. You have to be able to know about yourself. And if you're going to put food in your body, that's going to be if you eat McDonald's every day, you're going to end up getting sick one day because you're not eating food. But if you grow your food, you take care of yourself, you do the things that you know that are best for you, it helps you create those boundaries so you don't have to worry about running to go get a shot or have to go to the doctor as much. And you could be young like Gavin and not have to worry.
Yeah, well, I think that there's a lot of stuff, but one of the things that Java Delight, the Delight Digital Cafe, 1 square at a time, those things that we're trying to do are to bring mental health to the forefront, because mental health is about the most critical thing to maintaining your physical immune system too. because of the connection. So, it's all about really trying to get a better way to live your life from a physical and very much from a mental standpoint that is going to improve your immune system and eliminate your need for, or eliminate the need for, and also so that you can go to your doctor and say, I don't need all these drugs.
Trust me, the minute you do that, they're not going to like you. I did that once, and man, did my doctor hate me. Mandy Atterbury says her mom had to pay $500 a round for each cancer injection she had, and we hear that more. 500 grand?
Rand. She must be in South Africa or something.
Either way, it's ridiculously expensive. Yeah. So, well, Brett, time is up. We love that you were here today. I love that you jumped in to talk about your show tonight. Guys, Hermione, Harry Potter. Did I say it wrong?
Hermione.
I said Hermione.
You said Hermione, but it's close enough. It makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to Brett, and let's welcome the one, the only, the one that everybody's excited to get in here today. He has a huge amount of success. He has a wealth of knowledge. He changed. The doctor had him change his diet, started exercising more, and decided to work on controlling his stress. For the past 5 years, he's published a daily list of great things that have happened every day. Each day, he celebrates great things that happened since he started this journey. He has met some fascinating people, discovered new recipes, and celebrated life while laughing a lot. Guys, it is an honor that we had Brett Gordon, but let's get Mr. Phil, and I'm going to Barth in here.
Phil.
Wow.
How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing well. How are you? That was an impressive introduction.
I wanted you to have the energy behind it. That way we got you excited.
That is awesome. I was excited before that, but I'm over the top now. Thanks.
You're ready. I love it. So I have I have to ask a question right off the bat, Gavin. Because all right. So what is an international best sort of seller? I didn't know what a sort of seller was, and I was like, I gotta ask.
Yeah, so when I released the book, it was free on Amazon, and it went to the #1 list of free stress management books. That didn't make me a dime, right? But there were thousands of people who got the book, and I've gone back and forth, right? Because if I shop at Kohl's for clothing or whatever, and I've got Kohl's cash and I don't spend any money, I think they still count it as a sale. They didn't get any dollars, but it's still sort of a sale. And a friend of mine from New Zealand bought it, so that made it international.
I like your energy on that. He's like, I have friends in New Zealand, so it's an international bestseller.
It counts.
One.
It was one. It's only the one, but it's. I haven't sold a book internationally. You got me there, Phil. High five on that. Boom.
I mean, there's no strict definition on how many of anything you need to sell outside of the country to be international.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I might have sold one in Canada too.
Maybe. There you go.
Now all right, Gavin, you had a question. I don't want to just jump into mine. Go ahead. I'll stop. I'm
First off, congratulations if you did get that. If you did get the Canadian sale, congratulations on doubling your international sales. That's pretty amazing. It's quite an accomplishment. Second off, so I know that you have a lot of life changes about health and fitness and your diet and everything. I noticed that you have a plethora of sporting goods behind you. Do you play a lot of sports, or are those just collector's items?
Those are collector's items. I played a lot of softball in my younger days. I now go with swimming and walking in terms of exercise. When I did some investigation on your show, I noticed that Brandon has a really bunch of cool stuff in the background that I'm guessing means a lot to him. So I thought, well, I could go. I've got a room with a blank wall, and I do a lot of recording there. But I'm like, nah. The vibe of this show says that I need to have the Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Casey Blake from the Indians autographed baseball bats, and the hockey stick is from the Cincinnati Stingers of the World Hockey Association. I knew nothing about it, but hockey sticks are cool.
I dig that. I like that. Brandon's
Say
losing
who-
his mind right now.
Who were those again?
Okay, so you've heard of Hank Aaron, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, right? And then Willie Mays. Willie Mays, you've heard of him. Okay, now, to be clear, I did not go up to Hank Aaron and go, hey, Hank, you and I have been hanging out, autograph this bat. No, Sam's Club had him 25, 30 years ago. I don't know how long ago. And they were clearancing him. And I was like, dang. When I was a real little kid, Hank Aaron was it, man. I mean, he was hitting all those home runs and breaking the record. And Willie Mays, too. The third one is Casey Blake, and I grew up a Cleveland Indians fan, and that I got at a charity auction. And Casey, Casey plays baseball better than probably, 0.001% of the population, or 0.9, he's way out there. He's not Hank Aaron, he's not Willie Mays, but you can't hold that against him.
Yeah. No, but it's an autograph bat. Actually, so you're an Indians fan. You want to have some fun really quick? All right.
Absolutely.
I'm in Cleveland. Gavin is too, but yeah. I love you. So, all right. Are you in Cincinnati?
I am in Cincinnati. I took my love from Cleveland down to Cincinnati when I moved down here.
I love Cincinnati. It's a great city. It's not Cleveland, but it's still a good city. All right. So, remember Albert Bell?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when he hit the home run and he's in? Oh my God, am I sweaty today? He hit the home run and he goes like this, and then they took the bat and had it X-rayed.
Yep. Oh yeah.
My mom was the one that did the X-ray, and wait, it gets better. There's 3 copies of it. One in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, one in the doctor that gave it to the Major League Baseball, and then the third one is in my mom and dad's basement because they gave one to my mom. She's never allowed to sell it. She's never allowed to do anything. But isn't that cool?
Awesome.
All right, now I'm going to be friends with Phil. I'm going to just be a fan right now. So Phil, are you a Browns fan?
Oh, absolutely.
How excited are you for this season? 20-some years of crying. Finally. I met Gavin, you're done with being my co-host. Hi, Phil. Welcome to John.
I was going to get some water and something to munch on for a second. I don't know anything about sports. I'm not a sports guy. I loved playing sports. I liked playing sports. I was never one to watch them. I went with Brandon to the NFL draft, had an absolute blast. No idea what the hell was going on the entire time. I just knew there was a bunch of people just yelling and drinking and eating food. I'm like, this is what I'm used to.
My crowd,
but then
right?
But then they started talking about like sports. I'm all like, I like the guy with the ball. Touchdown.
It was so much fun. I have to be honest, Gavin and I know Gavin's not a sports guy. He's not like that at all. Gavin, go get your drink. I will talk to Phil and get us into the interview, but we're going to talk sports for a second.
Brandon, I've got a YouTube video out there of a conversation I had with Alexa the day after the Browns beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. And it was just like, Alexa, who do the Pittsburgh Steelers play next? The Steelers season is over. And I'm like, yes, it's over.
I loved it.
Okay, yeah, Alexa, stop.
She's always listening. Such a bitch.
I can't stand it. But boy, did she play a great role in that. Because, how many sacks did they have? 0. What was the score? And every time she did, I was just like, I just had this look on my face like every Browns fan, like,
Yes. So Gavin and I own a CBD company, and I do public events. I get hired by the city of Cleveland to do events around the city. And I got hired to do the NFL draft this year. And yeah, it was fun. I brought Gavin down there, and he doesn't do sports at all. So all of a sudden there's fans from all over the country here. And I could talk pretty much football with any team, any sports, any football fan. Okay. I know a lot about each team. Football is just a sports I enjoy. I'm not a huge sports guy as I used to be, but I'm still bigger than most people. But I met these guys who are Kansas City Chiefs fans. And this guy was drunk as hell and walks up to Gavin and I and thinks we're Chiefs fans, even though I have us both wearing Browns gear. And he's like, oh, we drafted this guy. And he's going off. Gavin's just nodding his head. Well, this guy's so drunk, he thinks Gavin's agreeing with him the whole time. I'm like, oh, my God, this is going to be a good one. So it was a wonderful
I'm not
time.
an aggressive person, but I wanted to set him on fire.
That guy got old.
Brandon and I were trying to do work. Brandon and I were trying to work, and we're very clearly talking to each other on a computer, writing stuff down. He has a laptop. I have a notepad. We're very clearly doing business. And this just drunken buffoon just comes out of nowhere, covered in paint and fake jewelry, and so just screaming at us. So like, oh, I'm like, dude. And I'm looking at Brandon. I'm like, if you do not get him out of here, I am going to go to the elbow down his throat and like a bowling ball, just launch this human being out of Margaritaville.
Oh my gosh! So, are you a basketball fan?
Yes. Yeah. Not so. I don't know about you. It's always been Indians, Browns, and then Cavaliers, right? But I still like the Cavaliers. Yeah,
I do too. Same here, 100%. I like the Cavs. I thank LeBron for winning us a championship, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the Cavs are the Cavs in Cleveland. And, so next year, the NBA All-Star Game is here in Cleveland. I've already been hired to do an event for the NBA All-Star Game in the LGBTQ community in Cleveland.
Nice.
The NBA is trying to become more LGBTQ friendly. Mm-hmm. So they're doing a whole bunch of things, and I have a mind that I'm told is creative, and I make things happen. So they hired to do a whole bunch of cool things to really bring the LGBT out next year at the All-Star Game. Video games are huge in drag queen shows, I guess. They play video games, and they're really big into NBA 2K. So we literally have a drag queen playing people at the NBA All-Star Game in NBA 2K. Isn't that going to be awesome?
Nice. That's awesome.
She's going to be trash talking him too the whole time. Like she's going to be playing everywhere with she's going to be playing with people everywhere and just completely dogging them the entire time.
Love it.
I love it. All right, so Phil, we did our Cleveland thing. I didn't know you were that big of a Cleveland fan. I want to be able to talk about you, not just the Browns, the Cavs, and the Indians, because Gavin would leave the show after that. He doesn't know yet. Wait till I take him to a Brown. Actually, have you been to an Ohio State game, to the Horseshoe?
I have not. No, I have not. I know.
Phil, I think that's a good middle point to meet. I think we need to meet there because are you an Ohio State fan, though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, 220,000 people all at the same time chanting and getting excited on something. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the world. It is literally, you don't have to be a fan of sports, but go to a game at a stadium like this that's open air and like they start chanting things. And even if you're not an Ohio State fan, you get goosebumps. So 100% want to say, Phil, we're going to take Gavin to a game, and we're meeting in Columbus. I'll see who I know down there to see if we can maybe even get down low on the field or anything.
That would be awesome.
Walked on that field. I've walked on that field.
Okay, before we get started on the reason I'm actually here, remember when they beat Miami of Florida? I don't remember. That was 2002. Right. Okay. So the next day, I call my dad, because he's a big Buckeyes fan. I said, what'd you think of the game? And he's like, I was okay. I'm like, what is going on, right? And so we talked for a little while later. He goes, well, it could have ended better. And I was like, Dad, do you remember on fourth down when it was incomplete to Gamble? They threw an incomplete pass. He said, yeah. I said, what'd you do? He goes, well, I turned the TV off. I'm like, oh, God. There was a pass interference flag on the field. They got 4 more downs. They won the championship. And he missed it. I was like, oh, Dad. But I knew my dad well enough to know, shit, boom. And that was it.
Do you want to know the funny thing? My dad did the same thing. He turned the TV off in the fourth quarter because of it and was so annoyed. When I called him and was like, oh, my God, pass interference. He's like, what? I'm like, are you seriously not watching? He turned it on, and it was like, oh, yeah. You have okay, Gavin. Sorry, Gavin sent me a message. I didn't understand.
No, you're
I had to
good.
reread it. All right, let's focus on the interview. I'm sorry, Phil. You have even an audience here that came to say hi to you with Kellyanne and all that.
Hey, Kellyanne, how you doing?
She came in early. Was like, I'm so excited for Phil. I was like, wow, Phil's got a following. All right, so Phil, you've told us about you being an international best-selling author, which we're going to keep on there because for real, I don't have any of those accomplishments. But I'm really curious about your tricks in managing stress. What are these 7 S's of stress management, and how can you get me to not want to beat Gavin up every day?
Oh, I don't know if I can do the latter. I still want to beat people up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. I don't want to set unreasonable expectations here. I'm sorry.
I've been told that Brandon has a punchable face, so it happens.
I do.
Nice. So I think you got one of them down, even though it's not official. You got to laugh a lot, right? You got to laugh a lot. But I never had a problem with that. But okay, so 2015, I'm at scout camp with my youngest son. And I started having some chest pains one night. And the funny thing was, about 3 months before that, I had talked with somebody. And hey, Tom, I haven't seen you in a while. Tom's roughly my age, roughly my size. I said, what's going on? He said, well, I had a heart attack. I'm like, no, people our age don't have that. And he said, yeah. And he listed everything that he had gone through leading up to the heart attack. And so I'm at the camp and I'm like, everything that Tom listed is happening to me ahead of whatever is going on. So
Yeah.
I played a game and ran around a little bit, and I was like, I don't feel good. So I went to the nurse, and she said, well, your blood pressure is like 100 over 60 or 90 over 60 or something ridiculous. And I'm like, that's not me. I have high blood pressure, right? So long story short, call my wife. She goes, hey, give me the phone. The nurse goes, give me the phone. And she goes, if it's my husband, I call 911. Right. So off to the hospital. They run a bunch of tests. I figure I'm just stressed. Right. No big deal. I'm tired, whatever. And they said, you had a small heart attack. And so I kind of knew that they were going to say, watch your diet, watch your exercise, all the things that they say. Right. But then the one doctor said, you need to manage your stress. And he said, it's not worth it. He said, in fact, I want you to unplug 1 week out of every 3 months. I'm like, okay, you'll say whatever to get out of the hospital. Right. Sure. Well, so the rest of the year was spent kind of recovering from everything. And then March of the next year, my wife said, you said you'd unplug, and it's been 3 months that you've been back to work. So we're taking the next week off. So day one, we go to the Cincinnati Zoo. We have a little picnic in the car with the son, check out the animals. And when I got home, I got on Facebook and I said, hey, here were the great things that happened today. And I listed them, and I started feeling better. I'm like, I don't know why, but next day we went to the art museum, and hey, here's the great things. Saw some good art, saw some art that reminded me of what I did in kindergarten, whatever. And so every day I started listening, and I thought, I wonder how long I could keep this list going. Because, eventually I got to go back to work, and eventually a day's going to suck. And they still do, by the way. But it's been 5 years, almost 6 right? 15 to, yeah, 6 years. It's been 6 years that I've been doing this list. And that's the first thing is if you think about what you're focused on, right? What you focus on is what you get. So there's an experiment when I speak to audiences I have them do. I close your eyes, and I think this would work for you. I don't know what your room looks like, but close your eyes and think of the color green. All right. So you just think of green. And then when you open your eyes are immediately drawn. Open your eyes now. If you got something green in your room, that's where your eyes are going to go. Right.
I have nothing green in my room.
Okay. Well, but if you keep thinking about it, Gavin, later on, you're going to, and it would work for any color. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's like when you're looking for a car, and then you want a specific car, and then you notice that car is everywhere.
Exactly.
I had that the other day.
Yeah.
You remember the sidecars on a motorcycle? Somebody had brought one of those up to me. I haven't seen one of those in over a decade, and somebody brought that up in casual conversation to me. And later that day, I saw one. It blew my mind.
Yep. And so basically the first thing I say is seek the green, right? So if green's kind of a calm color, red is kind of what your teacher put on your papers when you got things wrong, or the color of blood or whatever. So if you seek the green, and that's what I was doing. I didn't even know it, right? That's what I was doing, was I was seeking out what was good, because after, a month or so, I didn't have to really, what was great about it. It just popped into my head, and it became very easy to write that into a daily list that goes on Facebook. So you get what you look for. That's the first one. Seek the green.
I like that. I like that.
I like that. That's the first one. Now I have a question on that. If you're seeking the green and all that, have you noticed people, as you were sharing what was great that day, have started jumping in as well and wanting to share great things? Have you noticed the change on that? And it brought that good energy to everybody, right?
Yes, I love it when some people say, "Hey, Phil started this, I'm going to start it." And here's what happened. Here's what was great. And I get tagged on Facebook. I was like, that is the real power here. It's not just me. It's other people are starting to do it too.
Mm-hmm. There's so much negative out there, and it's especially the Facebook. It's like it's literally always negative out there, and you can't. It surrounds you about what you put out there. People don't even see how all of a sudden you start talking about like gangs and beating people up and da 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 da. All of a sudden you notice a lot more of that as the people you're getting the notifications on and the commercials that come to you and the advertising. That you determine how it's going to go. You switched it and we're like, F this, I want what's positive. What great happened to me today? You know, and it brought all these other things to you. All right, what's the second one? I need another S.
Right. Here's your second S, because you just already kind of covered it a little bit. It's subtract out the red. So if the red is bad, right, and you hit the nail on the head, social media, right, and Facebook doesn't want to be positive or doesn't want to be negative. They want to be sticky. Right. They want to keep you there. Yeah. The average person, and this was 2019 pre-pandemic levels, I think was 2 hours and 20 some minutes a day on social media sites. It's probably more now, and I don't remember where I got that number, but 220. And that counts YouTube. That counts, so it counts if they're doing something positive, like watching your show. Right. But everybody wants their share. So Facebook wants their share. And in real life, you don't hang out. So like if you got a really negative friend, when you're all going to lunch, you don't go, hey, let's just pretend his name is Phil, because it's not, but let's just pretend, right? Hey, Phil's going to complain about the food. He's going to complain about the service. He's going to complain about his family. Man, we need to make sure he's at the lunch with us. That doesn't happen, right? You're like, don't tell Phil, right? So if you're hanging out with those people in Facebook, then Facebook is like, well, we want our share of the pie, right? So we're going to keep giving you the negative stuff, which is exactly what you said. Yeah. So I am really aggressive on blocking people on Facebook.
Me too.
I don't blame you. That was always that's actually a really big pet peeve of mine. And people that I go out of my way to avoid is people who air out their dirty laundry on Facebook constantly. And I'm not talking about like, like a family relative died, or like you're on a car crash, or like I'm not talking about like the big things that are like actually like detrimental to you. I'm talking about like little petty relationship squabbles. A friend of yours took $20 from you, like stuff like that, or like very little things. Hi there. When people can't let go of stuff. Yeah. He came to say hi.
I've got two. We got three. Two come down to visit me every now and then. So you block. So you block people, right? And then
unfollow them, unfriend them.
Right. That leaves people like Kellyanne, who's with us here, that put positive things on Facebook, and I get to see her posts, right? I get to see pictures of her son and cool stuff, right? Because we've got a niece in Florida, and they have 2 kids, and occasionally they'll be up for Christmas or holidays, but most of the time what we get to see is on social media. And I surely don't want somebody who's going to complain about either of the 2 political parties or their family or the passive aggressive, oh, everybody hates me. Yeah, block them. Right?
Yeah.
Make room for the good people, right? So you subtract out the red. That's number 2.
I love that.
Now, how do you feel about the thoughts and prayers people? Like when a tragedy happens and you have that flood of comments, thoughts and prayers. How do you feel about that?
I'm on the fence. I mean, if you're just saying thoughts and prayers, you're just like, yeah. I mean, you ought to just set up an auto reply, right?
Like it depends who it comes from, I feel like.
Well, yeah. And what the tragedy is and things like that. If it's somebody I know and they lost a parent or something like that, then I really do have thoughts, prayers, and care for them, and will tell them that. If it's just the generic, I think it's a little, just like thoughts and prayers. I don't know. If you mean it, fine. If you don't, come on.
Yeah,
I agree.
No,
I think that I'm a person who believes that, like, there's been a lot of times people that's a very easy thing to say, where it's like, oh, I'll pray for you, oh, I'm there for you, and thoughts and prayers, as Gavin said. But there's so many people that don't actually go do it. It's just words. It's word vomit to fill that space. And I think if you're really going to want to do something to help somebody, you're going to actually go do it that moment. You don't need to just write it. So, so we have strive to find the green. Strive to find the green and subtract the red.
Subtract the red. All right. Next one is spend some time in the past. Now, the story here is my dad passed away in 2019. Right. And so, 80 some, I really ought to know the number, right? 85 years old, had been struggling for a number of years with dementia. And so, I realized that it was, will he be missed? Of course. But was he missed for the prior 8 years when he was declining? Yes. So, mentally, right, logically, I'm like, okay, this was for the better. So on Saturday, we had the service. I drove back to Cincinnati. It was in Northern Ohio. Drove back with my family to Cincinnati. Sunday morning, first thing, get on a plane, spend the entire day flying to Grand Prairie, Canada, up in Alberta. You think I could have sold a book while I was there, huh? Okay, so missed opportunity, right? Okay, so it's up there around Alaska, right? It takes all day to get there, and you get there and you're on a different time zone. So I just crash and burn in bed, and then next morning it's like 4 a.m. and I'm up because it's 4 a.m. their time. It's not 4 a.m. my time, and so I sit there for a while, and now all of a sudden it hits me, right? Okay, so I lost my dad. Right, knew it was going to happen, and here I am, a gazillion miles away from in the middle of nowhere. And so, what do? And the answer was, I put on my running shoes, put on my shorts, went down and hit the treadmill, and I told Siri, "Don't listen now." I said, "Siri, play Waylon Jennings." Right? Okay. And then as I'm listening, right, I'm actually spending time in the past. And it's not in the near past when Dad was sick. It was back when I was a kid and Dad was driving the station wagon with Mom to Florida and putting Waylon Jennings on, and we're listening. And so now I'm generating all that happy memories and all those good chemicals in my brain, thinking back to a good time. And the biggest thing I found best way I found to do this is with music, right? I've got a list of songs, and I play this song and it triggers this memory. And so there are all kinds of songs, Waylon Jennings being one good example, but there are a lot of others where you can just spend a little time reflecting and it makes you feel better, right?
Well, music does something special too when you listen to it, because for whatever reason, it allows you to record the chemicals that are being released, like you said, during those specific time and memories, where you'll have an event that happened that was significant to you. And because of that song being attached to it, you can listen to that song 20, 30 years later and feel for just a split moment exactly how you did. It's almost like time traveling. Like for somebody who can't think of a way that they've experienced this, think about a relationship that you've had in the past, where you two had a song together, or like you were listening to music that you normally wouldn't care about, but because of that person, you listen to it all the time. And now if you listen to it now, you remember, oh my God, this is what it felt like on our first date.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. There's a song that was playing on my wife and my first date, and it was a song we did our first dance at the wedding. Obscure Camera by REM. And so when I hear that song, there we are on the dance floor.
Yeah.
At the reception. So there's all kinds of them that just can trigger such a good memory and such a good feeling. And because you're gonna have bad days and you're gonna have things that happen. Yep. And if you can do something to just kind of help nudge yourself out of that, it helps.
I agree. So what was that called again? I didn't get it written down fast enough. I'm sorry.
Spend time in the past. Or with a song, you can use that as too, right? And then
how much time should you spend in the past?
See, that's a good question. I mean, with me, it was running for maybe 35, 40 minutes on the treadmill, listening to Waylon Jennings, and it's what it takes. What I say is it's like Grand Prairie, Canada, which it's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there. I mean, we got cold winters in Cleveland, but this place, I mean, they regularly in the winter will have a week where they get to 40 below to 50 below.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And even in Celsius, it's still crappy.
But
seriously, it was September, we got on the plane in Calgary and flew to Atlanta and gained like 65 degrees. It went from the 20s to almost 90. Just unreal. Yeah.
Your body doesn't even work that.
No.
Yeah. No.
It was an awesome place. Happy memories from it. But I wouldn't want to be there in January. So you spend time. And that's a good question, Gavin. You don't want to dwell, right?
No.
You don't want to dwell on the past. There comes a point where it's not productive. I think it varies. I think one of the things I've done recently, one of my fun little projects was I took the videos from VHS that we took of our kids when they were real young and converted them and put them up on YouTube a little at a time. And one of them had my dad with my oldest son when he was a baby, and it was my dad's retirement party. And I put it up there, and I didn't think to tell my mom, right? She sees what I do on YouTube. I didn't think to tell her and necessarily warn her. Well, I called her that weekend and she said, when I saw that, I thought I was going to be upset and I thought I was going to be sad, but I looked at it and all I could do was smile. And so, that gave her a chance to spend some time in the past inadvertently on my part because I was going to warn her and say, hey, I did this. But she said it was really good. So
I love that. All right, so I have streak the green, subtract the red, seek. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote streak. I just pictured a naked guy running with a green suit on.
Green body paint. Woo!
Like that, one of those jumpsuits you see at Indians games, Subtract the red, spend time in the past with a song. I wrote what was number 4?
So there was a study a Harvard group did a study in 2012. I'll tell you what it is because I know you want to write it down. It's start the day off right.
You're like, I don't want to give all my secrets out.
No, I don't. No, I absolutely give all the secrets away. That's fine. So 2012, there was a group, and the names escape me. There was 2 Harvard psychiatrists and Arianna Huffington put this study together. And what they did was they divide, you always got to divide groups into 2, right? And so one group started their day with positive news for 3 minutes. And it was more like solution focused, not like, Little Orphan Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow, right? It was just solution focused. The other group went to the normal news that you would get with all of its negativity. 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes for each. At the end of the day, the people who had the negative news were 27% more likely to report they had a bad day with 3 minutes. So, and you can take the other side of the coin, right? So if you start the day off with something positive, if you start the day off with something not negativity right in your face, 3 minutes of that is going to give you a 1 in 4 shot of having a good day, a 1 in 4 better shot of having a good day, right?
Yeah.
So I know Gavin at least has a gratitude coach. I always start the day off with gratitude, and what that means is I sit down with my cup of coffee and I'm reading on my iPad if I get it quick enough, and I got 2 dogs in my lap, right? They don't know how to start a day bad. They don't know how to be grumpy in the morning. It just doesn't occur to them. It's like, oh my God, it's been hours since I've seen you. I am so happy to see you. You are the most wonderful person in the world. And they get on your lap and they'll stay there for 2 or 3 minutes, and it always starts the day off well. And it's really difficult to be pissed off when you got anywhere from 60 to 140 pounds of Labrador Retriever on your lap.
Yeah.
Because 160, 180, and sometimes I get both.
It's you have your own weighted blanket right there in the dogs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I believe it. Coda, he'll scare the piss out of me in the middle of the night because I built a captain's bed that is 3 feet off the ground, and so yeah. Oh, my calves look awesome. And every night, and in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m, I will have this human-sized living thing just jump into bed with me while I'm dead asleep. And it scares the hell out of me. And I look, and there, sure enough, is my dog. 130 pounds. Just, hi,
man.
I'm like, go to bed. Leave me alone.
I like that you connected it though with starting your day off right and having it be a Harvard study, because that's why Gavin and I are doing this. Is we want people from the east to the west. Like, everybody has their morning show they listen to, so we're that shot of Java to help you get to your afternoon on the East Coast or wake you up on the West Coast while bringing you all the delightful things in the world. And it's because too many places start with a negative mindset. I turned on radio, like, you turn on the radio and it's just like the sports talk radio, all negative. Oh, they need to trade. Oh, we need a new coach. Oh, we need this. And it's just negative upon negative and yelling. Then you switch to like a music station and the DJ comes on like, in the news today, and it goes negative. And I hit a point where it was like Gavin and I were talking and we're like, there needs to be more. There needs to be better out there. What
I've been doing, I've noticed a lot of comedians have been making podcasts lately, and I've been listening to those to get my news, because while they still tell me the same depressing news, it at least makes me laugh when I hear it.
I love that idea. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. Bill Burr has a really good one. I can't remember his name, but he is the Russian mafia story. Yeah, I see. Everybody knows the Russian mafia story.
I can't think of his name either.
One of the best stories ever. But
he
no one can remember his name.
He does all of it with no shirt on.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up his name.
My kids showed me that, and I darn, I can't remember.
He was funny. All right, number 5. S number 5.
Set some fun goals. All right.
Ooh.
And this can be anything.
Kreischer.
Yep, that's it. Yep. My sons love him.
Oh, he's hilarious. He's got a couple specials on Netflix, and they're awesome. They're just so good to watch.
Yep. Yeah. See, if there was an 8th S, it'd probably be stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
But I guess it's going to be 8 S's now. So I learned something new. Okay, so fun goals, and this can be anything from a huge fun goal to a very small fun goal, right? So my 2 oldest sons are guitar players in a heavy metal band, and they said, we want to have a goal of putting out an album. Okay, now think about that. If this was 15 years ago, well, that means we're going to need to get an agent. If you've seen the movie, oh crap, why am I flaking on the movie about Freddie Mercury and Queen? Bohemian
Rhapsody.
Yeah, yes. It's only like their most famous song, right? And I can't think of it, right? But what did they have to do to get an album, right? They had to sell their van and bet it all to get some studio time, right?
Yeah.
These kids, the 5 of them, used a MacBook Pro that we got my oldest for graduation 7 or 8 years ago, and I think GarageBand, some editing. Now he knows this stuff inside out, and they put together what's been 2 EPs now. They're working on the 2nd, and they've got it on iTunes. They've got 3 videos now. A friend of theirs.
What's the name of the band?
Starless Cincinnati. There's more than one Starless. Oh yeah. Yep.
Gavin's looking them up right now.
And I mean,
how old are they?
How old are the kids?
Yeah, how old are your kids? Yeah.
Okay, so once again, I should know these kind of things, right? My oldest is 25. There it is. Yep, there they are, right there. There's their latest video. So my oldest is 25, and my middle is 23. The drummer is also 23 because he went to school with my middle. And then the others range from 23 to 20, 27, 28, right? And they put together the videos. They got friends. The one video, they are in hazmat suits. It's like the zombie apocalypse. And a friend of theirs bought the hazmat suits for like $0.25 a piece on some online auction site. And my middle son was sore for a day because he gets tackled by one of the zombies. And, it's one thing, I guess, to get tackled in football pads. It's another thing to get tackled when you're wearing just a hazmat suit. But you know what? He suffered for the art, right? Okay, so that was a fun goal, right? I had the goal, and I've actually written 2 books. Okay, Brandon, this one's for you. The first book was on Cleveland sports. It's called Hard to Believe Land. It's the story of the 2016 Indians who went to the World Series.
We lost to the Cubs. I was at that game.
Oh.
Right? It hurt.
You are in, lost, Brandon. You are in my thoughts and prayers. Yes.
Well
yes. Yes.
Well played.
But it's them. It's the Cavaliers who won the world championship that year, and it's the Browns who won 1 game that year. And
sorry, go ahead.
They won 1 in 2 years. You're right. Yeah.
I was going to say we went one game 2015, none in 2016 because it was the 216, the year of the 216 or the area code here.
Yep.
So the Cavs did their championship, the Indians had theirs, and then the Browns went 2016, and people were like, "See, they still are a part of it." I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. That's a horrible joke."
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Yeah, and I think mine started with the Browns in 15 and went to the Cavaliers or something like that. Actually, it starts the book starts with the Cavaliers, so and then the Indians and then the Browns. So if you want a happy ending, you read it back to front.
Where can I get your book on Amazon?
Amazon, philbarthbooks.com.
philbarthbooks.com. I'm looking that up right now. Oh my God, I'm buying that one. You know that. Like I have a Cleveland sports trivia thing right behind me here for whenever we do random trivia. So, all right, I'm sorry, Phil.
If you keep telling him all this stuff, you're going to give him a little heart attack.
Oh well, I don't want to do that, man. All right, but here, think about that too, right? I wanted to write a book and publish it, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote a book and I published it. I didn't need to get an agent. I didn't need to get a publishing house, a contract, put the proposals all together and go through all that. I downloaded some software from Amazon and I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, it was easy. It wasn't, but it was doable. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
an arm and a leg to get it done.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And they were fun. Okay. My wife and my youngest son and I sat down first of the year and said, let's come up with some fun goals that we're going to do as a family, right? Just wrote them on sheets of paper. And yep, there they are.
I'm buying it right now while you tell your story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
If only you were in Canada right now. Well, anyway.
I'm close to Canada. Does that count? Like,
close
enough. We count it.
Close enough. Yeah.
You live anywhere for 2 weeks, even if it's not all at one time. I count it. That's why I count that I live in Hawaii. Like I have a place in Hawaii, even though I haven't been in 20 years. I was there for 2 weeks once, so I count that I lived there.
Counts. Yep, absolutely. I like that, boy. I just my whole life experience expanded a lot with that role. That's awesome. All right,
that's awesome.
But so we each filled out little sheets of paper and try a new recipe every week. We've done that. We haven't hit every week, but something new on the grill, just little fun goals. And it's fun and you work together and it lowers stress. So set fun goals.
Love it. Love it. Set fun goals. All right. Number 6.
Start small. And they that plays with the fun goals. And this is the story of the sad times as a Cleveland Browns fan. right? So if you remember, Brandon, not this past year, not 2020, but 2019 was going to be different, right? We had Freddie Kitchens as a coach. And all right. So I sat down week one. I'm like, this is going to be different. I am going to watch the Browns. I'm going to enjoy this game. They're playing Tennessee. You know, in most years, I would get to the end of the first quarter and say, to hell with it. I'm going out and working on the yard for the rest of the and in 2019, I made it to the first half. And then I said, to hell with it. I'm done with them. But in 2019, I did something different. I said to my wife, I said, that's it. I'm done with them. She's like, okay. I said, no, I mean it. Every Sunday afternoon, we're going to work on a small project around the house. And I'm not a licensed, marriage counselor or anything, but when you tell your wife that every Sunday afternoon for 3 or 4 hours, we're going to work on some small project in the house, that is really a good thing. That really worked out well. And so what we wound up doing was the paint of the wall here and the finishing of the home office, just little things that we could knock out, the repairs to the house. I put together a basketball hoop twice because the first time I got it wrong, finished some cornhole boards and so on. And so we had all these little things that added up. Now, little did I know that putting together this home office was going to be so huge in 2020, but they were all right. Small little 3-hour projects. We worked together, had fun with it, and little wins, right? And speaking, and this isn't exactly starting small, but it is kind of, right? I don't know if you do checklists, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Greatest way in the world to manage stress. And if I'm not having a great day, I just look at my checklist. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start firing off on the small little tasks here and check them off. And I'm so, I don't know, I can't find the right adjective, anal about it, whatever. Like if I do something and it wasn't on the list, I will write it down on the list just so I can check it off and get that little hit of dopamine. So yeah.
Same here.
I'll have like a daily thing of stuff that I can do that day if I find myself having extra time. And then I have a weekly list of things that I need to get done that week. So I know there are things that I have to get done during the day, and there are things that I have to get done. But if I don't get it done that day, it's all right as long as I get it done that week.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the book Getting Things Done by David Allen, but
Yes.
he goes into detail.
I've actually heard of it, but I've not read it.
Multiple times I've read it.
Have you read anything Napoleon Hill? Like Think and Grow Rich or Outwitting the Devil? Have you read Outwitting the Devil?
I have not. I might need to do that.
I might just send you a copy just because that's one of my favorite books right now. I've already read it twice. It's Napoleon Hill's, and he actually wrote it before Think and Grow Rich. And, and his family took it, like he didn't have it published. Think and Grow Rich got published, and he died, and his family found it because he was still working on it. It was all written, it just never got published. It was in a safe, and when his last family member died, they released it in 2011 for the first time ever. You will be blown. Oh my God, this book is astonishing. It'll change your life. Phil, I have a copy somewhere in my house right now. I will mail you one. Like dead serious.
You are the man. Thank you.
It's one of these things where I believe we have a book club on my network, the Delight Network, because I believe even if you don't like reading, we'll find you the free audio book so you can join the conversation and get excited about doing something different. It's about loving you. Sorry, I totally took the stage there.
No, thank you. That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm still listening. I'll be right back.
Gavin just doesn't like us today, Phil. Like you and I have just like brought off.
I know. It's been too much Cleveland sports for him.
My guys in the back are all nodding their head. Yeah.
As if it's even possible to have too much Cleveland sports. Come on.
People, Phil, I'm gonna have fun with you. All right, I'm gonna give you a quick thing. All right, so people know Cleveland is the mistake on the lake. You ready, buddy? So if we're the mistake on the lake, all right, why does the information that is actually available for everybody to see actually influence their opinion? What I mean by that is, do you know why everybody knows about our water catching fire? Why
No,
our lake
why?
caught fire? Oh, because the day it caught fire, it made news. It had pictures. It looks way worse than it is, just like the news does. But it was in the same magazine of the Time magazine Moon Landing, which is the #1 magazine sold of all times.
There you go.
And then it created the EPA. We now have the Environmental Protection Agency because of Cleveland, and we didn't even have the biggest fire. The biggest fires in Buffalo and Pittsburgh, where the water caught fire. Now, I could do this all day with Cleveland stuff. Cleveland has helped shape this country by being labeled the mistake by the lake, the ugly stepchild, but we've developed if you're a Clevelander, or even if you move away, you create this like bond with the city that you're like, this city doesn't suck as much as everybody says. That's why I do what I do. Is I'm like, I have a full sleeve Ninja Turtle Cleveland tattoo to represent that there is a history here, and I might have been brought up in a city that you think is a piece of shit because that's what you've been told, but come here and I'm going to show you why we're different. And I do it every time.
I never realized how much like street credit being in Cleveland, living in Cleveland got me until I started dating people outside of Cleveland. I remember I was with this woman for a while who lived in Sandusky, and we went to Cedar Point for Halloween weekend. And it was awesome. And one of the actors came up to me. I was in line for a haunted house. They came up to me and they got in my face to go, "Where are you from, boy?" And I just like, I'm just go, "Cleveland." And they go, "Oh, shit, never mind. Nothing here's going to scare you." Completely broke. He's walked away from me disappointed.
I love it. Yeah, I grew up in Marblehead, which is right across the lake from Cedar Point.
Yes, I know exactly where you're at. I've been there many times. All right, I'm sorry. We have 10 minutes left, and we still have one more. I'm sorry, ADD. Phil and I are just like buddies here. We're hanging out now. You know?
For the record, it's not too much Cleveland sports. I had to pee. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm so glad we knew that. I'm glad
let the record show, okay?
Let the record show.
Yeah, that's good because the last one, there's like one more little bit of Cleveland sports in here, and I didn't want you to run away screaming. So the last S is share the love.
I'm ready.
Share the love. Okay, and I like to write. I'll write thank you notes, not because it's not for the other person's benefit as much as it's selfish for me, because I feel good, and this goes to. Years ago, my mom came into some money and she sent Beth and I, my wife, a check. Said, "Do what you want with it." And so I sent her a note. I said, "Thank you so much. It was very generous. And here's what we're going to do with it. We're going to take the kids to a Disney vacation because I remember you and Dad and Waylon Jennings and the station wagon driving us to Florida. And those were such great memories. And I can't think of a better thing to do with the money than share the love with my kids. Spend some time in Disney, just like you did, and I'm going to pay it forward." And she called me 2 days later and said, "That's the nicest note I've ever gotten." I'm like, really? All I did was tell you I love Disney. I mean, and thank you for what you did. Okay. Yeah. Now, doesn't have to be a big thing. Here's the other one, and it all comes back to Cleveland sports, right? So Thanksgiving, and I think it was either 16 or 17. Terry Pluto from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com, puts out his annual. I'm thankful that I get to do the greatest job in the world. And he does have a great job. He writes sports for nonstop for the Cleveland Plain Dealer and now Cleveland.com, right? And so he says, "I'm thankful for the fans. I'm thankful that you make my job so great," and so on. So I noticed that it's like, click on Terry Pluto's name and it brings up an email form. Like, well, hey, Terry, thanks for bringing it. Yeah, I'm in Cincinnati now, right? You make Cleveland real for me. Thanks for what you do. And I sent it back to him. Yeah. I didn't think I'd ever hear anything. Like an hour later, he sends back, "Hey, you made my day." I'm like, oh my God. Whoa. Awesome. And so his stress dropped. Mine I was like, man, this is awesome. And I'm thinking, here's a guy who has talked to LeBron James, has covered the Indians in the World Series. Of course, on that day, he was getting ready to cover the Browns, and they weren't real good. So maybe just any email would have made his day compared to covering the Browns, right? But it's just those simple things. It's just people. I'll say when I'm in publishing great things, I'm like, "Hey, I ran into so and so, and we had a conversation." And they're like, "Oh, thanks for mentioning me on Great Things." I'm like, but it really was awesome. I mean, you're an awesome person, and we talked for a little while. And that made my day better. So you just, when you share the love, you never know whose day you're going to make. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm this altruistic, wonderful person. I do it because it makes me feel better. Right.
Yeah.
I say thank you to somebody else and I feel better. I'm doing it. I'm being selfish.
Yeah.
But it works, right? It lowers my stress and it lowers theirs. And that's all about what you are doing with this show, right? You're sharing the love, and it's making you feel better, but it's making your audiences feel better. So
I can't say how many times that either Brandon and I have came on the show and we're backstage, 5, 10, 20 minutes before the show, and we're just not feeling it. And by the time the show is done and over, we feel so much better. We really do. And we're able to, and we might not even feel perfect, but we feel good enough to take on the rest of the day.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. So now, Phil, I love everything you're about. I want to be your friend. I'm going to find you on Facebook if I have to, whatever it is.
Do it. Absolutely.
I've got right behind me here your YouTube page. I don't know if you do much with your YouTube page because I see that it's been last time you posted was 5 days ago. He's newer to YouTube, guys. Go hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, turn it all on. I just did, as you could see. Now Phil's going to respond back by doing the same thing.
Already did it.
I was like, I think I saw you do it this morning. It sent me an email saying you have a new subscriber.
Yep.
So I just subscribed, guys. Honestly, I love this. I want to go look at his video of him talking to Alexa and all that. I bet that's hysterical. All right, so Phil, the way we end every episode here is we inspire everybody by giving a positive affirmation for the day. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have Brett Gordon, who's been working in the back the whole time, all of a sudden jump on, and he's going to lead us in the first goodbyes of the day and telling us something positive. Brett, start us, and then Gavin, me, and then you, Phil. You're muted, buddy. I tried to unmute you, but it won't let me.
There we go. Going to stick with what we started with as far as what we're going to be doing this afternoon and Hermione, and come and find out how, the superpowers that you normally think of, Hermione being the swish and flick and all that kind of stuff with the wand, is not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about how her feminine energy helped Harry and everybody to succeed in what they were trying to do, and how those superpowers can help us to conquer those obstacles and challenges that we have in life. So looking forward to that. Keep that in mind, and you'll find out why we said Hermione's tool that we add to our toolkit is a tape measure. Why is that? You'll find out on the show this afternoon.
I love it. I love it. Very good.
What's up, Bulldog? Sorry, dog was barking. Relax. I want to talk about today about being flexible. Sometimes things happen in life, whether it is in your daily schedule or your long-term plans or whatever it may be, or right now when you're trying to give your last word and somebody wants pets. You have to be flexible in life. You have to understand that, while life is a bit of a river and it does have a flow to it, it often changes. It changes the direction that it goes in because it wears away on the ground around it. Sometimes there's a storm and it adds water. Sometimes there's a drought and you have less of it. And you have to be able to adapt to those situations and understand that life isn't always going to go the way that you want it to go, but it will inevitably take you and where you're supposed to be.
Well said, buddy. Well said. Oh, yeah. Gavin is a wealth of knowledge. He's just one of these people that I'm glad to be a part of my life. Brett, on the other hand, I'm still whose phone's ringing?
My bad.
They both looked down. That was the best. So, guys, this is the end of today's Thursday show. Honestly, I think Phil must have watched the show yesterday, because my H last night, because we literally gave him guest of the year as a joke. And Phil's like, I'm going to bring better than that. I'm going to be from Cleveland. I'm going to talk sports with Brandon. I'm going to make him see I'm the best guest ever. And guess what, Phil? I think you and him are like fighting there. You guys are both number 1 and 2. You brought such good energy. Guys, the 7 S's. I like how we did this. We have 8 now because we added stand-up comedy. But it's about like being you. Find the green, subtract the red, spend time in the past. Find that song that connects you. But the biggest thing is you got to be able to know that you are reaching your goals and you're setting small size ones and hitting the accomplishments. I'm honored Phil was on here today and was able to jump on and teach us these 7 S's and build our best self, 8 S's. And I want to thank you guys for being unbelievable. And Bulldog, thank you for stopping by, buddy. I'm glad to say hi to you too. It's you now, Phil.
It's me now. Awesome. So here's what you need to remember. 3 to 1. 3 positives for every 1 negative. You cannot eliminate the negatives in your life, but find 3 positives for every 1 negative. And there's 2 ways to do it. If you're at 4 positives and 2 negatives, you can either get 2 more positives or eliminate 1 negative. You can't eliminate them all, but 3 to 1. If you go 3 to 1, you are going to have a great day and a great life.
Love it. Guys, this was a great episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and go subscribe to Phil's page. We love you guys. Each one teach one is what they say, something like that. Love you guys so much. Have a great day. Go spread love and positivity.